Your testimony, please, Detective Crescend. Tell us your reasons why you couldn't have done it. Proof of innocence. Oh, come on. Why would I even want to kill that manager? You want a reason? Easy. I got no motive, man. This was that diva's first trip to this country, right? How could I possibly know her manager? If I didn't know him, why would I want to kill him? And there it is. Thanks for telling us everything, Darian. A simple reason indeed. Prosecutor Gavin, is it the case that Mr. Latouche had not been to our country before? According to our report records, yes, not even once. I see. Very well. Mr. Justice, you may begin the cross-examination. Great. Now I need to find a motive. So it's the cocoon, right?
Yeah.
International affairs, Interpol. The cocoon is the thing. He wants it. He can brandish it over the Chief Justice and get ahead in life. This seems very clear cut.
It does.
I don't know motive, man. Right, Statement 2 and Statement 5 are basically the same thing. And the bracelet's not reacting to anything.
No.
So let's go for it. Let's present the Fabergé egg. Your Honor, take a look at this. What's that? Looks like candy.
Please don't eat it.
It's not. Don't lick it, please.
Don't lick it.
Detective Crescend, ever seen this? Looks like a piece of candy. What it is evidence. Don't lick it before you try it. Specifically, this is a replica of a cocoon. It was found among the victim's belongings. A cocoon? Never seen one in that color. It is a variety only found in the Republic of Bourginia. Nowhere else. Alright, but what is this cocoon replica doing in my courtroom? Surely this has nothing to do with a motive for killing Mr. Latouche? Does it? It does. Wait, I think it does. You don't sound so confident, man. A cocoon. Is it one of those silky cocoons? The kind that you can make, well, silk out of? Not this one. This cocoon makes a powerful curative. A curative? For what?
Incurious.
Apparently, it is most efficacious at treating a disease thought incurable. It is the only medicine of its kind. However, it is illegal to take one of these healing cocoons out of Bourginia. Whatever for. If it's such a miracle cure, why not share it with the world?
Yeah, that's what I've been wondering.
We looked into the matter at some length. Apparently, it isn't difficult at all to manufacture the remedy from the cocoon. Yet, if you change the process only slightly, you can easily make a large quantity of something else entirely. A deadly poison, in fact.
Ooh.
What? Well, there was an incident several years ago where some of these got out onto the black market. It caused quite the commotion in the global community. The global community? So the media was kept largely unaware. Intriguing. All this has led to a strict ban on the cocoon's export. One rigidly enforced by Interpol, among others. Interpol? Right. The victim, Romain Latouche, was an Interpol agent. Detective Crescend, you insist on referring to him as a manager. But that is misleading. Romain Latouche wasn't killed as a manager. He was killed as an undercover agent.
You okay?
So I was trying to smuggle this gumball into the country? That what you're trying to say? I'm saying that, well, could be a motive for murder. Oh, so I was gonna sell it on the black market, make myself a pretty penny? Ridiculous. I mean, totally unthinkable. Unthinkable, you say? Why? Perhaps it's time for another testimony about this smuggling of cocoons business. Cocoon smuggling. International Affairs got a memo about these cocoons. Interpol's all hot and bothered about them. That's all I'm saying. Can't sell them on the black market. Too dangerous. Yeah, cocoon smuggling ain't exactly lucrative anymore. Man, I'm in international affairs. I know the deal. Indeed. Interpol wanted these cocoons bad enough to send Mr. Latouche undercover. You kids think up the craziest things. Hold on, excuse you. Kids. Kids.
Kids.
I mean, he's a kid.
Yeah.
And she's a kid. But we don't have a profile for Apollo, which is weird. But kids at 24.
Yeah.
You kids think up the craziest things. But no way am I going to risk life and limb just to get my hands on some dirty cocoon money. See. Not the most noble of statements, but duly noted. According to reports, these cocoons top Interpol's list. Selling them to an underground organization would be risky. Very well. You may begin the cross-examination. This is the only motive I've got. He was up to something, and I'm gonna find out what.
More?
Not lucrative in the make yourself millions of dollars sense.
Why does he say any more?
But maybe lucrative in the cure the Chief Justice's son of disease and get yourself set up for life.
Yeah. Throw it at him.
Why not choose a less dangerous buyer then? I would. How clueless are you? Everyone in the market's dangerous. The second they found out I was a cop, I could kiss my keister goodbye. Why sell to a black market buyer? How about someone like this? That article. That's about the Chief Justice's... A deadly poison can be extracted from the cocoon. But so can a cure. And not a cure for just any disease. A cure for incuritis. Incuritis? I've heard of that somewhere. You went to visit a victim of the disease this morning! Aha! Why, that's the disease the Chief Justice's son has. You aren't saying... Our witness is a detective. He would have contact with the Chief Justice. You are saying... The Chief Justice would never deal in contraband. If it was to save his son, he probably would.
He might, yeah.
Not even to save his own son's life? But even if the deal went through, why, it'd be an international scandal. That's Detective Crescen's insurance. If word ever got out, the one with his neck on the line would be the Chief Justice. Detective Crescend, is this true? First I'm a murderer, now I'm a smuggler? How many crimes are you trying to pin on me anyway, man? Distasteful as it is to think about, if the Chief Justice were the buyer, why, a seller couldn't hope for a better deal. A very cowardly seller. Don't let sleeves over there trick you. So I made a deal with the Chief Justice? Where's your proof? Oh, well... Oh yeah, and you're forgetting one other important thing. Do tell. Interpol isn't the only ones out there watching this. Virginian Customs barely sleeps. They're so worried about cocoons getting out. Oh. So we were informed. Let's continue with the cross-examination. Alright. So we get... Virginian Customs is very thorough. Everything and anything gets checked.
The badge. The ring light up. Bracelet light up at all. For anything.
Cocoon possession will get you arrested on the spot, and then sentenced to death. Hey man, if there's a way to get cocoons out of there, I'd sure like to know. There was a way.
The guitar?
Remember how bubble wrapped it was and it didn't touch customs because Gavin had his own jet or whatever?
Yeah, so he's technically smuggled it in.
Uh-huh.
Silly Gavin.
Actually, there is one way. What? One way to get something out of the country. No checks. What is it? You become a prosecutor. A prosecutor? I don't believe it. Alright, Victor Vildrew. Believe it, Prosecutor Gavin. What was it you told me yesterday at your office?
I looked at the time and it was 4:44:44.
Oh, nice. It was a beautiful instrument. It was played lovingly for many years. A guitar befitting of a woman like Lamiro. How did it end up?
How did it end up here?
I mentioned how much I enjoyed playing it that night, and she made a present of it.
This guitar is from Virginia?
That it is. We couldn't carry it on the plane. Changes in air pressure and humidity ruins the wood. So we vacuum packed it in Lamiro's studio. I used the special shipping service available to me for transporting evidence. They brought it right up to my office for me. Pristine and untouched. Did I get that right, Prosecutor Gavin? Untouched? Quite. The guitar was wrapped in several sheets and vacuum packed in Virginia. The pack was untouched until the day of the concert. Are you saying that guitar was... with cocoons this small? It would have been very easy to use your guitar as a mule to smuggle a cocoon out of Virginia. What? Which reminds me, Prosecutor Gavin, the guitar had some work done on it recently, right? Work? Good memory, Herr Forehead. Well, you know how guitars have a round hole in the front? It's called the sound hole. You do not put your dick in there. Well, they found something attached to the wood just inside the hole. A broken device of some sort.
A broken device?
Yes, this in fact. An igniter? Exactly. Consider this, if you will. What if that igniter wasn't the only thing that was attached inside your guitar?
You mean...
He means this, of course.
Someone put wood in the hole?
Nice. There was a way to get a cocoon out of the country. You could use picky Prosecutor Gavin's privileged guitar as a mule. And who better to do that than someone with access, like a member of the band? Yark!
Broke my hair, dude.
Order, order, order. So the igniter was placed in there for a clear reason, it seems. It was a safety precaution. A precaution? Ah, Herr Forehead. At last, it all comes together. Every strange thing that happened that day. Care to review? Maestro, the gentle sounds in Lamaror's ballad, if you will.
Or what now?
First, my keys were stolen. A harmless misdemeanor. It forced me to break the lock on my guitar case. The key was stolen to retrieve the cocoon from the guitar. I see. But things didn't go so well. The smuggler wasn't counting on the guitar being wrapped. Only a member of the band could get near that case. Unwrapping the guitar would raise too many suspicions. Then, the concert began. Right about this time, a very large problem presented itself to the smuggler. What's that? Mr. Latouche. Ah, very large indeed. Mr. Latouche, an undercover agent, was on to something. He would have known about the guitar. He'd only have to check the shipping records. So, Mr. Latouche tried to examine the guitar himself. If the cocoon were confiscated, then the gig would be up. The only thing left for the smuggler to do was get rid of the whole lot. It's over. Press the switch, now.
The guitar burst into flames and the cocoon was lost. And then Mr. Latouche died. With Lamiror there to witness it. There's your case.
Brilliant, man. Detective Crescend. I gotta know. You make all that up on the fly.
What a made-up story. It makes a great deal of sense. Darian.
The Republic of Virginia. Sorry, man, but I haven't even been there.
True, you haven't.
Let's see you make up a story for that, kid.
Called using a telephone.
How'd I hide the cocoon in the How'd I hide the cocoon in the first place, huh?
Yeah, it's not so hard to imagine. You had help. A Virginian accomplice. That's all. That you had an accomplice was clear from the start. The voice Lamiror heard proves it.
It's over. Press the switch now.
You made this transmission from backstage. While your co-conspirator was on stage.
But who was it?
This is it. The coup de grace. Or the cup de Gracie.
Monster says that it's hair. That's why his hair's full of cocoons. That's what it is. Like Marge with the jar of money.
And for once, I know what I'm doing. There's only one person who could have helped him.
Uh-oh. Oh dear.
Let's hear what Mr. Justice has to say then. But be warned. With a great accusation comes great responsibility.
Oh.
Really? Make up your answer on the fly, as it were, and you will be harshly penalized. Are you ready, Mr. Justice? Who was the smuggler's accomplice?
I hate to say it.
Mm,
It's still Machi.
it is.
He didn't kill the guy, but the
Yeah.
switch was in the piano.
And he was deathly afraid of going home because he'll be killed.
Yeah. Because he was afraid this would get out.
Yeah.
Alonzi. There's only one person who meets all the requirements of the accomplice, and that person is the defendant, Machi Tobaye.
But Mr. Justice, he's your client. The defense attorney accusing his client? That's a new one.
I assure you, no one is more unhappy about this than I. But I am here to defend him in the murder of Mr. Latouche. And I stand by my statement earlier that he is innocent of that particular crime.
Indeed. The defendant is Virginian. He does meet the basic requirements to be the accomplice. But what if it was in fact Lamiror?
It couldn't have been.
Well, you seem sure of yourself.
The reason is electronic signals, Your Honor.
Electronic signals?
I recall that this remote only works to a range of 30 feet. Beyond that, it's useless.
Yes, that's true.
Now, think back to the testimony. When the shooter made his transmission, Lamiror was in the air vent, right above the dressing room where the shooter stood. Let's look at the stage diagram. This is the area that the remote could reach from the air vent.
Well, looking at this, it seems that Lamiror could still could have done the deed.
No, When the shooter made that transmission, the stage was slightly different than shown here. It was in the middle of the guitar serenade. Part of the stage was raised. Prosecutor Gavin and the Lamiror stand-in were in the air. They were on a tower which happens to be 15 feet tall. In other words, the remote couldn't have worked from Lamiror's position in the vent. Could it not?
I think it could.
Ah.
Well, Detective Crescend, what do you say to that?
Your Honor. Yes, Detective? Could we see the video where Gavin's guitar burns? No? Just one more time. Well, I don't see why not.
So back to the video.
I guess.
Ugh.
What? Don't tell me he has a way out of this. I feel like we're nearly done though.
Oh, I hope so.
We're getting on.
Look at this video.
Yeah. Look, at least it's not Meekins and Goodman fighting 50 times.
Oh, that's awful.
Too bad, so sad. Punk.
Punk?
Da-da-da-da, da-da-da.
First you were sleep. Oh,
First you were sleeves, then kid, now punk.
sorry, yeah, you don't get much speaking lines in this part of the chapter, so we're gonna keep you going.
You're losing rank fast, Apollo.
What exactly were we supposed to see in this video?
The problem isn't in what we see, correct, Diane?
Right, it's what you hear. We are musicians, after all.
Care to explain for us non-musicians?
Wonder says Meekins.
Sure thing, punk. Let me get your yarn straight first. You're saying I ordered the wee pianist to set off that igniter? That right?
Yes?
Well, in order to do that, he'd have to press a switch. Am I right?
Okay.
Well, take another listen. Pay attention to the piano.
Piano?
There's no gap in him stopping to press the switch. Actually, he's not even in the chair, I think. It'd just be shadowed out.
There is someone shadowed out, yeah.
It's hilarious to me that that's Valant.
Hmm? Oh, that's Valant, yeah.
What seems to be the problem there? The piano sounded just fine. And that's the problem. Man, you still don't get it. Yeah, how's he supposed to hit that switch if he's playing? You've got Miss Diva, the guitar, the bass, the piano, and the drums. The only one with her hands free was the Diva.
Let me roar.
But according to you, she couldn't have been the accomplice, could she? Your accomplice would have had a hard time helping out if they couldn't even press a switch. Oh yeah, he is. He's just grayed out. He's there.
piano plays non-stop. He couldn't have pressed that switch.
Well, Mr. Justice. The piano does seem to be playing when the guitar catches fire.
Oh, well.
It's okay, we all make mistakes sometimes.
Apollo, were you wrong?
I can't be wrong. Everything makes perfect sense. How could it all just... strange? Oh, what's strange? No, it's just... something's odd about the performance there. Odd? We breaking the mixer back yet, are we?
I guess.
Mr. Justice, if Machi Tobeye didn't press that switch, then he could not be the accomplice you claim he is.
But everything points to it. Every fact says he's the accomplice.
You got those facts wrong, man. Here are some facts for you. Gavin's guitar is on fire, but the pianist didn't press that switch. In other words, your story is full of holes. Mr. Justice, let's hear your final opinion on this matter now. Was the defendant Machi Tobeye the accomplice? Your answer will reflect on everything you've said here. Give it some thought.
Apollo, if Machi's not the accomplice, then our whole case is ruined.
I know that. It has to be him. He was the only one who could have helped the smuggler. He had to have pressed that switch.
Well, you'd better find a way to prove it.
What do I do? What do I do?
Ah, there has to be something that doesn't fit. Something odd.
Something odd. Wait a second.
What? You thought of something?
What was Gavin saying just now? Strange. What's strange? No, it's just... I'm getting some weird feeling of the deja vu. Something's odd about the performance there. It's not much to go on, but it's all I've got. What exactly did he hear was odd? It was odd.
Have you come up with something, Mr. Justice? May I remind you that everything rests on this.
No pressure.
Can you prove Machi Tobeye pressed that switch? Let's hear your final answer. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Can you prove that Machi Tobeye pressed that switch?
We have to be able to prove it.
I mean, yeah, otherwise
We lose.
yeah.
I don't know if you call this proof per se, but I can prove it was possible. Then, as prosecutor, it falls to me to ask you to show us evidence supporting this. Hair forehead. You're sure about this?
Accept it. There's no evidence, man. Let's see your evidence, Mr. Justice.
The basis for my claim is music, Your Honor.
Music? What about music?
Let's listen to the piano part, around the time when the switch was to be pressed. Right before the guitar burst into flames.
Wow, there is a bit of a drop there. I hear a piano being played.
But doesn't it sound kind of simple?
Simple?
Ah, I think I know what he's suggesting. You think Machi could have played that part with one hand?
One hand?
He only needed one hand to press that switch. He could play the piano with the other.
What, so you're some kind of piano savant?
Actually, no. My employer, actually, no. He's not either.
Then what do you know? You can't play a part like that with one hand.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about here. Wait, I know. Hey, Trucy!
Yeah? You got something?
Mr. Wright, your father. He's a pianist. Could he?
Oh, Daddy? He couldn't play a part like that even if he had 3 hands.
Ouch. So sorry. So sad for you.
No. Not really.
Huh?
That was just the easy way to prove it. There's always the hard way.
Man, how are you going to prove whether he played it with one hand or 2? You can't.
I admit, it will be rather difficult to prove. But it's highly likely he was playing with one hand.
How do you know that?
The clue is what Prosecutor Gavin described as sounding odd. What sounded odd? I'll bet we can tell by listening to a certain part of the song.
No way.
Are we all hanging in there, lurky turkeys?
Well, it seems we've come to the moment of truth at last. Let's hear what Mr. Justice has to say for himself. Show us the part that proves the defendant was playing with one hand, right before the guitar burst into flames.
Machi was definitely playing one-handed just before the guitar caught fire. And one section of the song proves it.
Still here. Hunter's a dancing burp.
Okay.
It's such elegant playing.
Can't really hear it that well, to be honest.
Well, I'm just paying attention to the levels.
Hmm.
And then it kind of dies. So
Prosecutor Gavin, I'm sure you've realized by now just what it was that sounded odd to you. As I'm sure you've realized it yourself, Herr Forehead.
realized what?
I'll demonstrate. Let's listen to the part in question again, shall we? Pay particular attention to the "but a fleeting melody" phrase.
Fleeting melody, that's cute. Man, how many times do we have to listen to the same thing?
You're right. Enough of that. Let's listen to another section, shall we?
Another section?
The guitar burst into flames at the end of the second verse. Let's listen to the same spot. In the first verse. Pay attention to that. Oh, that night in your embrace.
Play verse 2 again.
There, did you hear that?
They feel the same, true. But they're clearly very different. What?
Well put, Your Honor. The phrase in verse 2 is quite simple, but the same phrase in verse 1 has high and low notes. You'd have to use 2 hands to play that for sure.
What's that proof?
I would think you'd know that by now.
This is why I hate dealing with amateurs, man. So the 2 verses had different arrangements. Happens all the time.
Not this time, Darian.
Huh?
There's no point in changing an arrangement if you can't hear it clearly. And that wasn't the point. I had him play specifically so that the piano would stay in the background.
Oh.
That was what I had noticed. Why should the same phrase sound slightly different? I asked myself. Now ask yourselves why Machi changed how he played. And there's only one answer. He needed a free hand in order to press the switch.
Nark!
I hate his boots.
I'd probably like them if he was like a different character.
Order! I believe this ties all the facts together. Well, Prosecutor Gavin?
Yes, quite. So, personally, this comes as a terrible disappointment. What? No comeback? Can't believe it. I finally did it. I shut him up. Look at Apollo being all smug.
Very well. Barring an objection from the prosecution, I will now state the court's opinion on this matter. Good show, Sleeves. No, great show.
It's not over? I don't like it when he looks so happy.
You tell him, Gavin. You tell him what's so disappointing.
Personally, I'm terribly disappointed. In you, Herr Forehead.
Nork?
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 Me? Yes, don't get me wrong, your case is solid. The facts all check out, but even now, you have yet to show us a single piece of decisive evidence. Yeah, but the facts, anyone can see it was him.
Unfortunately, anyone does not include the law. I'm afraid your case doesn't cut it.
But...
1,000 facts might point toward the same conclusion, but without decisive evidence, it's not proof. That's the rule under our current legal system.
I don't believe it.
It does not seem as though the defense has any more evidence to present. Ooh. Oh, I think if he did, we would have already seen it a long ways back. It is unfortunate, but at present, This court is unable to acknowledge your accusation.
What? The truth is staring at us all right in the face. Why can't they see it? What's the point of a legal system that protects criminals?
Apollo, remember what Daddy said?
It won't be easy proving he did it. Especially not under the current court system.
So what do I do?
Like I said, good luck. And be aware that it will be impossible to prove his guilt by conventional methods. Every man has an igniter inside him. Find Daryan Krishen's igniter and set it off.
I wonder what he meant by every man's igniter.
I think he just meant a weak spot, no? The kind of thing that a single spark could turn into a wildfire of emotion. I won't be able to press him further by conventional means. I've got to find a weak spot in this guy. Something fatal.
So, can I get back to work now or what?
No.
It may look like I've got a lot of time on my hands, but I got no more time to play pretend with this deadweight attorney.
Apollo, remember what Daddy said? Touch my daughter and I'll shoot you.
Well, Mr. Justice, we've come this far without decisive evidence. This witness won't be coming back to the stand once we let him go.
Every man has an igniter.
Huh?
Didn't you say the better the guitar, the brighter it burns, Prosecutor Gavin? Ah, yes. Good guitars are kept dry, is why. That provides the best sound. Even a small spark could cause irreparable damage. Your plan has an igniter in it too, Detective. It was there from the very beginning.
What?
Fighting time, Justice! Alright, Masaru. If you blow this one, he'll be out of your hands for good.
Go for it, Apollo.
What? And this igniter's supposed to come burn me up? It's almost poetic there, Mr. Attorney.
All the better. I'm rather fond of poetry. And I intend to hear this one through to the very end.
Huh?
Here, forehead. You are accusing this man, Daryan Krishen, of 2 crimes. The murder of Mr. Latus and the smuggling of a Borginian cocoon. This is your last chance to prove your case.
This trial has already run on for far too long.
She should literally pull evidence out of our ass because of our panties.
Mr. Justice, this will be my last warning.
Alright, so the case is over.
The moment this igniter of yours turns out to be a dud is the moment this cross-examination ends. Understood?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then, let's have it. Show us the basis for these accusations against Daryan Krishen.
Okay. This is really my last chance. The key that will take apart Daryan Krishen's plan is call a witness. Your igniter isn't a piece of evidence.
So what is it?
It is true that I couldn't show decisive evidence, but perhaps what I needed to prove my case was something else.
You mean
A witness. Proving his guilt is a tall order, but I've got just the person to do it.
very well, Mr. Justice. Who is this person who can prove Daryan Krishen's guilt?
Come on, Machi! The one person who can prove Darian Krishen's guilt is the defendant, Machi Tobaye.
Your client? Again?
Machi Tobaye was an accomplice to the cocoon smuggling plot. Without him, Darian Krishen could not have gotten the cocoon. Furthermore, he can easily prove that the one who plotted to smuggle that cocoon is the real criminal in this case.
How so?
It would require just one of the very cocoons Mr. Latus was looking for. With the cooperation of the Republic of Borginia, we could burn a cocoon. The burned cocoon would leave a particular residue. The residue we would no doubt also find inside the burnt-out guitar.
Aha! Very scientific of you.
Thus, if Machi Tobaye acknowledges his agreement with Darian Krishen concerning the attempted smuggling of a Borginian cocoon, the case is solved.
Darian's laughing again.
Your unrelenting passion is remarkable. You really want to get me, don't you? Too bad you'll never be able to.
Why not?
The little key tickler won't acknowledge anything. Especially not anything to do with cocoon smuggling. I'll put on a pot of coffee.
Yeah.
What's this all about?
Taking a cocoon out of the country means death. By Borginian law.
Ah.
Yeah, see? If our pianist really was a smuggler, then testifying about it would be suicide. Believe me, he's not talking.
But you're wrong, Detective Christian. Oh, hold on. Hold on, my name is... But you're wrong, Detective Crescend.
What?
It's the other way around. If Machi doesn't admit to smuggling here, he's in deep trouble. Huh? How? Look, if Machi admits to smuggling here, then he'll be tried in our courts by our laws. You don't get the death penalty for smuggling in our country. The victim in this case was an undercover Interpol agent. I'm sure that news has already reached Borginia. And they'll likely broadcast our dealings in courts today. Including the part about the Borginian cocoon.
Yeah, but...
But if Machi doesn't admit to smuggling now, he'll eventually be picked up by the Borginian police. And it's not like he's in any danger in our court. We're not going to find him guilty of murder here. Not now.
Yeah, but you can't do this. You can't accuse me.
Maybe the law doesn't allow it. But who's going to think you're really innocent after hearing this trial? The same goes for Machi Tobaye. The cocoon smuggling, your entire plan. Machi Tobaye knows everything. There's only one way out of it for him, and that's to acknowledge his own crime. The crime of cocoon smuggling.
Don't worry there. I'll get you out of the country. I'll set you up someplace, a hidden mansion, real nice. You want a house made out of cookies, or no, a house made out of pianos? Come on. Oh, please! Don't!
Don't die.
Don't talk!
Don't die.
Oh.
Oh no. Got him.
Darian.
I consider that my last session with you. Verakt. I'm guessing we can treat that outburst as a confession?
Uh-oh, he's laughing again.
There's a kind of sick desperation in it now, though.
Well, have you been listening to today's trial?
Yes.
And you'll talk? You'll tell this court everything?
I didn't want it to turn out this way. But I'm not the kind of lawyer that can overlook a crime. Today's trial was all for your benefits, you know. I see no reason why you should hesitate now. I knew. From beginning, I knew. Machi? Situation. I cannot explain, but money I needed. Very much money.
Today's trial raises a delicate issue with our legal system. The only thing definite in a court of law is evidence. This is the golden rule. However,
it has become apparent that not all things can be tried by this standard.
should another case of this sort surface, we may have to consider an alternate system by which to administer justice. Anyway, Mr. Machi Tobaye,
Yes?
I promise you will receive a fair trial by the laws of our country. And with regards to the current charges for the murder of Mr. Romain Latouche, this court is prepared to announce a verdict.
Whoa! I thank you. Aww. He's adorable! If he ever comes, I can't get his eyes thinking. Wait, if he ever comes back in a later game, he's gonna be such a bishy. Oh, he's gonna be such a bishi.
Like if he gets older?
Yeah. I only lie. But you see truth. You find truth.
That's our job. Very well. This court finds the defendant, Machi Tobaye, not guilty.
Yeah, we did it! Woo!
Court is adjourned.
July 10th, 4:42 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 2.
I wonder what'll happen to Machi.
Well, he did smuggle a cocoon out of Borginia. I guess there'll be another trial here.
All's well that ends well.
Daddy! I owe you both my thanks.
Let me roar.
Why? Is something wrong?
I'm sorry. Machi was your partner on stage. Your friend.
Yes. I thought of him as my own son. Even now I do, yet something got a hold of him. Something evil. I see that. He must pay for what he has done. That not how it should be?
I'm still sorry.
Do not be sorry. Excuse me. Do not be sorry. You have given me courage. courage? I am considering an eye operation.
It was my suggestion, actually.
You mean you'll be able to see again? It's funny. I have always been afraid of the light. Light seems so harsh, so unforgiving.
According to the doctor, Lamiror lost her sight due to some kind of accident. An accident?
As you know, I suffer from amnesia. I feared that if I could see, perhaps it would open my eyes to the truth I have been running from. I was scared.
You know what changed her mind? Hearing your defense in there today. She could feel your gaze, unwavering, always looking straight at the truth.
If the light returns to my eyes, I think I will take up painting.
Painting?
That's right! She's the landscape painter in sound, after all. I will... I will paint the two of you, I promise. Woohoo! I can't wait, Lamiror!
I owe you my thanks too, Apollo.
Thanks, Mr. Wright, but for what?
You reminded me I need to hurry things along. On my secret mission, that is.
Right, your secret mission.
Apollo? Trusty? I hope that we will meet again someday soon. You bet! Me too! Aw, that was a happy face.
And so, like a ballad, the trial flowed on, until it came to the end. Thanks to the trial, the guitar serenade was a huge hit. Prosecutor Gavin's even more dazzling to look at now. But there's something I want to say to that guy. Next time you write a ballad,
Have them catch the killer at the end!
and woohoo! We made it!
Ah!
Turnabout Serenade awarded.
I almost didn't make it.
But you did.
Hopefully without snoring. Did chat hear me snoring?
So we are 3 chapters out of 4.
Yeah.
Next up, like,
It's real daddy time.
Turnabout Succession
Oh.
is our next one up. I suppose this is where Apollo succeeds Phoenix as the protagonist.
I guess, and also to do with the succession of the magicians, perhaps?
Possibly. But,
Blunter out here clipping my snoring. Just in the middle there, the room just got too warm.
Turnabout.
1, 2, 3,
And then
4, 5, yeah. Oh, Trussy's doing the door.
yeah. Right. Wow. A lot of the yeah, a lot of the AJ yeah, interesting. Okay. Well, that was fun.
Yeah.
I mean, it went on for a bit, but it was the final trial part of the chapter. It was going to.
Yeah, I think I would have been less sleepy if I had more to say.
Well, yeah, but also, like, Darian's whole segment was like, nah.
Yeah, that was his only defense.
That was his only.
As if whatever.
Yeah. You can't prove it, therefore I didn't do it. Nah. That was his whole. That was all of his dialogue.
Yeah.
Please get you sweet things to bed. Aw. I want to keep going.
You gonna keep going?
No, not really.
You're on your own. I'm going to bed.
Well, I knew that anyway. I wasn't expecting you past this.
I barely made it to this part.
No, sleep sounds good. Sleep definitely
3
sounds
o'clock.
good.
You can stream in the morning.
Oh, I intend to. Tomorrow, we're finishing this.
Okay.
And then I have announcement ?
Oh.
About what happens next.
Ah, okay.
So, yeah.
Karaoke.
Did we unlock that on the stream goals? I need to double check, actually.
I don't remember. Written down on the paper inside, but...
Oh, hold on. I don't even need to go in here. Let me just... Oh.
Ugh. Oh, my fly.
Yeah, your poor fly.
Did you archive your thread?
I did. So I could find it later. And this will help us answer something else we were wondering about as well. Oh yeah, we still have to do the Barbie game stream.
Chat creates a new redeem.
Yeah, that never happened. I have to do a tier list.
Yes.
So I'm going to knock out, before we start the next game, which will probably be Yakuza 2 and something else. Next games, I should say. But before I work out the next... The next games, we'll knock out some of those redeems that people... or some of those tiers that we hit during the birthday stream.
Yeah.
So stuff like the tier lists, reading the creepypasta, doing the Smasher Pass, just stuff like that. We'll
the other thing though is the wheel. The noodles were on the wheel.
They were. So we need to double check whether the spicy noodle.
That's it. I wrote it down.
But yeah, that's what we're gonna start doing. That once we get really hack mutation out of the way, or maybe I can do like 1 day of mutation. 1 day is one of the the goals, and kind of go back and forth on them.
Yeah.
Or do a couple of them at once and kind of make the stream that way. So, I mean, I can't imagine a tier list is going to take forever. It was never defined what the tier list should be. Yeah, Blunter never landed on Prime. You're pregnant? No, that is not my announcement. God, that'd be a harrowing day. But yeah, we'll what time are you streaming? Whenever I wake up, really. So somewhere probably between 11 and 2. So but yeah, let me swap back over here. Is there anybody yes, you can leave, Meg. Go on.
What?
I felt it was like, oh, can I go? Are we done?
No, I was gonna say, is there we're not doing anything on Monday, are we?
Don't think
I know
so.
you're at work. So.
Well, aside from that, yeah.
Yeah. I might stream on Monday.
Oh, you want to get back to it again?
Yeah. I mean, I gotta finish Spiritfarer. We're somewhat near the end. Because we've met this Dahlia character and played the guitar for her.
Yeah.
Yeah, the little one hanging up in the asylum.
Yeah.
So I gotta pick her up and pick up someone else.
Well, you know what? I think I know who we're gonna raid into. Yeah, so I'm gonna set up the raid here, and I'm gonna hand you lovelies off to one of our lovelies.
Yeah.
So. So we're gonna go raid into Kerbal.
Yeah.
Isn't that gonna be lovely?
Playing our game.
You're playing Shin Megami Tensei 4.
We'll figure out the rest of your stream stuff tomorrow.
Yeah. So, guys, take care of yourselves. Much love to all of you for hanging out with us for the last near 6 hours.
Love you.
Hope you guys enjoyed Ace Attorney's shenanigans. And yeah, we'll catch up with you again very soon. Sooner than you might think.
Don't die.
Be well and be good people.
Hydrate.